support your channels in even more
And you don't
ways.
say hi or nothing. You just show up. You just show up in the car. You don't say hi or nothing. And you
All right,
just
you live.
funny, yo, ice coffee.
Shalom, everybody. It's one of my friends, the DJ. So tonight we talking about the Kolbrin Bible and some other books too. So now you live.
You're all out of tea. You should have said
All
something.
right,
Like,
Shadija,
uh-huh.
we live. We're live now.
You said you're live?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Hello.
What up, Jason? What's up? So, you know, it's like I told you before, Shadija. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. Like you know how Maguntha and Theodore was like putting me on with the Coben. Like I think I told you that Theodore and Maguntha put me on. Well, Maguntha put me on the Coben Bible at first. When I was reading it the first time, I was like, wait a minute, what's in here that's like what makes it like a good book to read? So now ever since that I've been reading it on my own, and then now I'm seeing that you reading it, and then of course Theodore McGunther, and then I didn't even know to like, but B Will and Memora starting reading. I said, wait a minute. I said,
It's like,
okay. And then how like last time we came across on the phone together, and we start digging a little bit deeper.
uh-huh.
We found Jesus in this book too. So I was like, wait a minute, Jesus in the Colbert Bible too? That's what really, really, really. That's when I started to really believe that this is a book. Like when you say like Christ, he was all over the world to preach the gospel.
Uh-huh.
So when I found that Jesus was in here, I said, "Whoa!" And of course, I got to look more, see how like dig deeper to like where it talks about Jesus, and where it
Right.
says. Let me see if I can find it.
You gotta dig a little deeper.
Goofy, just. Lord have mercy. So tonight, y'all, I came to the realization where I found out that Jesus Christ is in this book too. Oh, I just found it. Here you go. Where it says in the book of the Britain and the Colbrin. So the book of the Britain talks about Jesus and his testimony, like his gospel. But I think there's something else here that I found too that talks about Jesus. Here you go. In the first book, Britain, no, in the book of the Britain, chapter 2 and verse 1, it says, "This is the true record of events concerning Jesus, the son of Joseph." See that? See? Son of Joseph in the Colburn Bible. And Mary, which we received by the hands of several who have lived within the circle of his light, and more especially from one who was our earthly father in the faith. He being not the least among the articulate ones who knew Jesus, in a person of no means estate, both in a distant land from whence he came and is more of land. For Jesus came to fulfill the desires and longings of men expressed in certain holy books, but more in so many unlettered hearts. For it is written that such is the nature of things. The tree spring from the yearning of men should not fail to bear fruit. For the holy books can be likened to an egg containing the embryonic hopes and desires of men. So, wow. In verse 3, it says, "In the sacred books of Edwin, it is written, the Son of Man is the shepherd of men. And we know how diligently a shepherd tends for his flocks. Jesus came not as a shepherd to drive, but as one bear a guiding lantern to show." Wow. Wow. It says he only as one bearing a guiding lantern. Guiding lantern. What does Jesus say? "I am the way, the truth, and the life." This book says he's one bearing, guiding a guiding lantern to show the way. It is also written, "The Son of Man is deliverer of men." And while we know that we have to be delivered, those who live in his land misunderstood the meaning. From the book of the Holy Mark, whose wife, as one of our own fair race, her father being a Roman way-keeper, whose wife was barren, and having a homeborn lady, her mother, oh, okay, as a slave, had her by a child who later adopted and raised the lady estate. We learn much, but clear to our understanding is that knowledge concerning Lilith imparted to us by our earthly father. Now I'm going to skip to. Look at this. In chapter 3, book of the Britain, chapter 3, verse 1. Jesus was the son of Miriam, also called Mary, by Joseph. His brothers were Jacob. Wow. Wow. Out of the Kolbrin Bible. Out of the Kolbrin Bible, we got Jesus in here. You know what some Shadiz, you know what somebody told me in my comments on my post?
What?
Oh,
Oh, what
don't
they
read
no,
that book.
I wouldn't read that if I was you.
Don't mind my dog. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, my apologies. All right, my fault. My chihuahua. See, you hear my chihuahua? She does this every time whenever I come in the house or whenever my brother come in the house. But yeah, back to what I was saying. So, like you got 3 chapters in here that talks about Jesus. 3 chapters. Right, Jason? Yeah. But I want to dive deep into like in Colton Bible chapter 3 and verse 2. Joseph, Jesus. No, let me continue to read. He was born at Bethlehem. In the days of his youth, the Lone Ring with the exploits of Judas the Galilean, who preached, there is no ruler but God. He was called the teacher of righteousness in his day. Joseph, Jesus' father, died when Jesus was 16. Mary, his mother, did not like his inwardness, his long silences, and his solitary habits. She rebuked him for being a tardy breadwinner. Oh man. But this was unjust, for he excelled in his craft. She could not understand her strange son, who was unlike the others, and she wanted a practical man, not a dreamer and a preacher. Wow. Jesus had spells of rapture, and his male kinsfolk declared he was out of his mind, so they was calling him crazy, basically. Okay. They sought to have him put under restraint. Dang, really? Wow. But women's folk said he was harmless. Hello? Jadiz, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh.
Mm.
So they were calling him crazy. So they was calling Jesus crazy. Then they tried to put him under restraint.
Isn't that like what they do to dead? They think you crazy. They put you in a loony bin.
Eat that. Yo. So everybody was like, hold up. Something ain't right about him. Well, that's all the sweet tea I got. Something cold and sweet.
Don't
But
rub in my lack of sweet tea in.
but the woman's folks said he was harmless in cases such as this. Their words will color the law of the land. Jesus loved his father who taught him his trade. He counseled himself with the scriptures which said, I will become his father and he shall be my son. Jesus early became a wandering carpenter and joined the Nazarenes. You know, there's a precept for that in the lost books of Eden somewhere. In lost books of the Bible, of the forgotten books of Eden, where he talks about he was a carpenter. There was an excitement in the land because it was said that the prophecy of Daniel was to be filled in these times. The conditions of the times fulfilled the predictions. Then Jesus went into the wilderness beside the Jordan. He joined the society of saints, which was by the sea of heavy salt. And when he came back to the Jordan, he no longer retired within himself, but was a man of direct and forceful speech. He was decisive and commanding. Excuse me. The people called him the Galilean because he was raised in Galilee, and they sought to name him the man of messianic hope and the suffering just one, when Judas the Galilean was dead. Some thought he was a warrior, the warrior Messiah, but he rebuked them, saying, I am he of whom it is written, he shall judge the poor rightly and reprove those who oppress them. He shall smite the earth with a rod of his mouth and slay the wicked with his words that issue from his mouth. Wait, with the rod of his mouth? Hold on, doesn't that sound familiar? Hold on. Hold on. There's something in the Bible that talks about that. Yeah, Isaiah 11:4. But with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. And he shall smite the earth with the rod of his mouth, and with breath his lips shall slay the wicked. Yeah, there goes. Wait a minute. So what I just read precepts with Isaiah 11:4. See that? See that? I'm writing that down. Nah, I'm writing that down. I'm out of pen that. Here you go. So what I read out of Kolbrin Bible chapter 3, verse 6, precepts with Isaiah 11:4. Isaiah 11:4. Precept is Kolbrin Bible, Britain of the book, chapter 3, verse 6. He said, here little and there little. There you go, Jason. There you go. That's it. See what I'm see. That's how you know it's something that's true. Is you go by the precepts. Matthew 18 and 16, Isaiah 28 and 10, and Psalms 119 and 104. Well, Psalms 119, 104 goes with Isaiah 28 and 10. Because Psalms 119, 104 goes, it says, "For through thy precepts I have understanding, and I hate every false way." Isaiah 28 and 10, "For precept must be upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. Here a little, and there a little." So you know what? Where my highlight at? My pink. How? Oh, there you go. So there you have it. So now, since that precepts with Isaiah in 11 and 14, now we know that this has the gospel of Jesus Christ in here. It talks about, it mentions Jesus, the same Jesus Christ who died on the cross, died for our past sins, who came to bring salvation to the world, who became a curse for us. This is the same Jesus. I truly believe when it says that Jesus has been around the whole entire world, yeah, he has. Yeah, he has. So we're gonna highlight that. Let's see what else we can find here. Ooh, check this out. This book of the Kolbrin Bible, the Book of Britain of the book, chapter 3, verse 13. Jesus was asked and is asked then he Jesus was then asked if he was one with God, and he answered, "It is not in me to state that I which I know to be untrue, and truly there can't be but one God alone, because I have granted visions and insight into things unseen and unknown to other men. What manner of would I be? I claim equality with God? I have spoken only that which is I am abiding. I have said, worship God who is my Father. Not worship me. Don't worship me. Worship my Father." You said John, I mean Christ had to be in because remember John. Yup. John 21 and 25. Yup. I'm gonna show you another book. You know how the seal portion got the infancy, the story, the backstory, the childhood of Jesus Christ. This also got it in there too. It says, "Worship God who is my Father and your Father. Does then raise me above other men? I have proclaimed all men my brothers. And if I have said I am even as God, then truly I have raised them up also. Yet this they cannot see, or is that they fear the burden of their own godhood?" Jesus came and was like the slasher which cleared away the useless undergrowth in the forest of life. He uprooted and burned that which was unproductive. He planted good trees, but undergrowth returns. It is a time for the activities of good men. Jesus found pearls from the seashore. He sowed the good and seed in the hearts of those who follow him closely. For his sake, many of the rich became poor. He came and separated men from the errors of the world. He brought men a mirror into that which they could look and see their own divinity. He opened a door, now open to all, and those who choose to pass through stand on the road to the eternal. That's just yup. I'm gonna underline that. That's in the book of the Britain, the Colbrin Bible, chapter 3 and 15. He raised up the fallen, healed the afflicted. He woke up those who slept and reminded those who forgotten. He enlightened the righteous and gathered those who were lost. So what can he be compared to the great sun that shines down, giving joy and life to all living things, to a great river giving gladness to men, and the waters of life to beasts, to the good husband who cherishes his fields and tends his flocks, to the men of the forest who care for their trees and thankfully gather their fruits therefore. Man, there's so much in here that talks about Christ. It's like early, I'm just looking for the key verses more than just reading the whole entire thing. Like for right here in verse 23, a man asked Jesus, "What does it mean when it was written that the iniquities of the fathers shall be visited upon the children?" Jesus said, "When a man commits a sin for which he has does not make full recompense in his lifetime, then the same temptation is placed in the way of the son, for there is a bond of family bond between them. Is it not manifest also that the wrongs a man does within his own household become the sins of the sons within their households? Wrongful living is the heritage of generations." Your strong precept for that is still portion chapter 12, verse 98. My still portion are messed up, y'all. I had this book for almost a year. Well, really a year. So, seal portion chapter 12. Precept for that is seal portion chapter 12, verse 98. And it's written, says, "It shall, and as it shall pass in one generation, even the sins of that generation, so shall it come to pass in the next generation. Because the same spirit that exists among the children of men, yea, even that spirit that caused them to sin, shall exist among them of the next generation to the time of the end of the earth." And there's another precept for that. We got Jubilees chapter 1, verse 21 to 23. See, I'm bringing out precepts. Jubilees chapter 1, verse 23. But there are your people and your inheritance, which you have delivered with your great power from the hands of the Egyptians. Create in them a clean heart and a Holy Spirit, and let them not be ensnared in their sins from now unto eternity. And the Lord said unto Moses, I know their contrariness and their thoughts and their stubbornness, and they will not be obedient until they confess their own sin and the sins of their fathers, And after this, they may return to me in all uprightness and all their heart and with all their soul. I shall circumcise the foreskin of their heart and the foreskin of the heart of their seed. And I shall create them in the Holy Spirit. And I shall cleanse them so that they shall not turn away from me on that day unto eternity. Wow. So now I'm going to give you another strong precept. Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 2. That goes along with Jubilees 1 and 29. I mean, 121, 23. Well, actually, Leviticus chapter 26 and 40. That too. Leviticus chapter 26 and 40. And it reads, if they shall confess their iniquity and iniquity of their fathers with their trespass, which they trespass against me, and that also have walked contrary, and that also have walked contrary unto them, and brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and then they accept the punishment of iniquity, then I'll remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land. Wow. See that?
But ain't there a precept? And I'm trying to think where it was. I think it's in the Bible where it talks about if my people call upon my name and repent, I will heal their land.
Bring it out. But the Bible literally tells us that who these people are. Like who, like it literally. If you ask the Most High, and if you in the Spirit, like if you have the Spirit, you will literally know who the people really are in this book. And then
All
when you,
right, I got it.
where's it? Bring it out.
All right, Second Chronicles chapter 7 verse 14.
Hold on, hold on,
If
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold your horses, hold your plate. Second Chronicles chapter what?
chapter 7 verse 14.
All right.
If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves, pray and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land.
You spot on. You're right about. Let me put that down. Hold on. Whoa. There's another precept for that. John chapter 9. I think I wrote down 31. Let me see if I'm right. John chapter 9 and 31. This Bible is so thin. Lord have mercy. You really gotta be careful turning the pages with this. Oh, I don't know why I put that down. I think this might be it. If this is not 31 or 21. No, let me see. I wrote this down for John chapter 9, verse 31. It says, now we know that God heareth not sinners, but if any man be a worshiper of God and he does his will, him will he hear. And a precept for that, for John 9:31, is Proverbs 28 and 9. You know what? I'm starting to see like on the bottom of the Bible, it don't got any precepts for verse 31. But beside here, you put Proverbs 28 verse 9 with John 31. I mean 9 John 9 and verse 31. But yeah, see how we go by the precepts. Precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, line upon line upon line, here a little, and there a little. So now, based on what we found from the Kolbrin Bible, right? Like it tells us the same thing what the sealed portion says. So what does that tell you? It's true. So like, yeah, the gospel has been found in here too, in the Kolbrin Bible. But wait a minute, there's more to that than just about Christ, because right there, the reason why I brought that out, because like I said, this is something that I found, and Shadeja, you on the phone. Like I told you, when we was on the phone, this is something that I found. Like, when I found this out, I was like, yo, they got Christ in this book too?
Mhm.
And I was like, when I first got into it, when Gunther put me on, I was like, wait a minute, what makes this book so interesting to read? Okay, I actually got deep into it. I read it for myself. I was like, okay, all right. And, wasn't really like I was in the price. Like I was getting there to getting into it, like because I haven't really dived deep or like really read more of it basically. So by the time I read more of it, and I go over with you or Gunther and everyone. So I was like, oh, what? Like the other day, how me and you was on the other phone, we found a lot. Like the
Yeah.
destroyer is talking about Christ. I said, wow. But then in this book, it got wisdom in here too. It got wisdom. It really puts you on with a lot of information in here.
And I was reading today earlier about I think it was in the book, the book of Gleamings, talking about Maya and Leah. And in the book, I remember when I was reading the story, it reminded me of that book. I mean, not that book. That chapter where it talks about that woman who leads men down to hell with her adultery.
That goes along with Proverbs chapter 7 and verse shoot. I know where you go. I know the scripture for that. That's Proverbs chapter 7. In Proverbs chapter 8. Either 7 or 8. Cause in Proverbs, I think who was it? Who wrote ain't Solomon wrote Proverbs? Or was it David?
I know David wrote Psalms.
Let me see.
Might have been Solomon.
Yeah. It was Solomon. Yeah, it was Solomon. It was Solomon. Yeah, it's Solomon. So in Proverbs chapter 7 says, yup, a horsewoman leads a man as an ox to the yup. A horsewoman leads a man as an ox to the slaughter. The house of an adulterous woman is a way to hell. Look at that. And where did you find that in the Colvin Bible?
It was the book of Gleaming, starting at chapter 1. So basically, this woman. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick. But I just got home.
You're good. All right, let me go. While you do that, I'm gonna look for it. Wait a minute. All the way around. All right, I'm finna look for the book of Gleanings. And you said where was it again?
Or was what?
The book of Gleanings, like what chapter?
Numero uno.
Numero uno. See, okay.
And also, what I want to bring out was in verse 2.
Hold on. Hold your horses. Hold your horses.
Talking about the lower nature of man.
Hold your horses, cause I know how you is. Hold your horses. Where is the book of cleanings? Oh, right here. Chapter 2.
You can have some fun. Chapter 1. You can just, you can just get a piece or two. You can too.
And what verse?
Mm. 2. Once all men were dark and hairy, and in those days women was tempted by the strength and wildness of the beasts, which dwelt in the forest, and the race of man was defiled again.
Lord have
Therefore,
mercy.
the Spirit of God was wrathful against women. Before her responsibility was to reject the beast within and without, that she might bring forth children of the light to walk in the light. For in men there is darkness and God. For in man there is beast and God, and the God walks in the light, and the beast walks in the darkness.
Mm.
Mm.
Mm, 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 mm.
Now, because of the wickedness that was done, there are among men who are the children of the beast, and they are different people. The race of man alone was punished, for the beast acted according to his nature. Mm. In man, the beast and God strive to decide whether he shall take place among the gods that live or the beasts that die. And women, in her weakness, betrayed him to the beast. Men struggle daily with the beast and wrest their living from the soil. Their day being encompassed with strife and toil. So women bring forth children with suffering, and because they are frail, their husbands rule over them. Man is conceived in the womb of woman, and she brings him forth to life. Therefore, when God raised man up from among the beasts, choosing him as his heir, endowing him with an immortal spirit, he placed a veil over the portals of life.
Mm.
This, that the woman should not forget that she is unlike all other living creatures and a trustee of a divine mission. For a woman not only gives life to a mortal being, she also bears a spark of divinity to earth, and there can be no greater responsibility.
Wow. What? Did y'all hear that? For a woman not only gives life to a mortal being, she also bears a spark of divinity to earth. And wow. Mm,
The crazy thing about that is,
mm.
mm, that I remember, because today people try to get women to focus more on their careers
Mm-hmm.
than having families, because it's more than just having kids and just having kids just to have kids. You're making the vessels for God to send his spirits into.
Yep.
God chose woman to be the portal from the spirit to the physical.
From the spirit realm to the physical realm. Yep.
But today, people see women and men. I'm going to say women because that's the topic where we're on, but they tend to see children as a burden and be happy that they don't have any children.
You know why? Because of impatience and from what they're going through within themselves. Because I see it like even our younger generation having children, and it's like seeing them being broken. Like I'm not here to judge, but it's like man, I won't even bring nothing along with me on my side. Let's just say, for instance, for me, right? If I were to get
Mm-hmm.
married, if I were to have children, and I'm still battling like, okay, let's say I'm an alcoholic, or I have a problem with smoking, I won't even bring that to my children. I won't even bring that type of stuff around my children, like being an alcoholic, and because for one, like, nah, like, mm-mm. And also, like, if I'm having any issues, like, if I got anger issues, or if I got like childhood issues, like, nah, mm-mm.
And
Pretty
wait, there's a
much, it's
chapter.
like
I'm
there's some
sorry.
stuff that's like I gotta work on myself, before I even bring a child to the world, because like how it read in Seal Portia where our sins goes down to the next generation. It's like I won't even pass
Mm-hmm.
down any addictions or anything like that to my children, or pass anything down like because nah, I want to bring nobody, especially the children of the Most High, or a child of God, down to this world, and that's they grow up, and I see them having addiction problem, or having the same problem that I used to went to. So I'm like, oh man, yeah. But like basically, I'll probably get myself cleaned up before I even bring a child to the world. Not saying that just to try to be like fanny danny or perfect, but I want my child to be clean. So if I want them to be clean, I gotta be clean too. If that makes
Right.
sense.
It makes sense. But you know what? That reminds me. There was a passage in the Kolbrin talking about how the importance of choosing a good wife and a good or a good husband.
It's in here. I forgot where's it at.
Right. And in the book of Gleanings, if you read further, it talks about the difference between how men, the lower nature of men, see women versus the children of God see women.
Oh, speaking of which, since you said anything about women, right? Morals
Mm-hmm.
and Precepts, chapter 15, verse 10. If you commit adultery, look at that. The Coleman Bible talking about adultery. Then prepare to flee, for men will rise against you. This is specifically speaking for all the women out there. For if they revile not the adulterer, nor raise their arms against him, then it is time for the nations degradation. And all men must look to their own
Time
wives.
for bed.
If man fail to punish the adulterer, then they encourage the seduction of their own women in the land of weaklings. The adulterer hunts freely, for who will oppose him? It is not written that which is not punished is condoned. Wow. Which is not punished is condoned? Man.
How that
Mm.
how that saying goes, your silence that how that phrase go, your silence is com- not complication, complacency. If you don't speak up, then you taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if that means you become a cuck.
Right. It
So I'm not trying to be
says,
funny, but
he
that's
who
basically what it
look,
is.
it says in verse 11, he who accepts meekly the seduction of a woman of his household is a weakling and coward and unworthy of the mantle of manhood. Mm. In verse 7, avoid the flattering woman who will beguile you with with words. Shun her who repudiates women's covenant with the creating God, who casts the treasures of womanhood lightly before men. Her hand guides on the path of sorrow. Her embrace leads to the soul's desolation. She shattered the dreams of man. She is a traitor to womankind, the betrayer of womanhood. Oh, wow. Wow. She is a womankind, the betrayer of womanhood.
And it talks about that in the book of Gleamings, the story of Maya and Leah. Hold on, let me find it. It's still in chapter 1, talking about the flattering woman. Let me see.
Here you
Okay,
go. I
right.
see it in
I
verse.
got it.
It's in verse 10. It says, "Women knew that though man could subdue her with his strength, he was weak in his desire for her. In his
In it.
weakness lay her power, and in those days it was used wisely. It was a foundation of the people. The race was good, but because of its goodness, it was destined to be slighted." Is that what you're looking for right there? What I'm reading?
Yeah, but it was something else where it talks about how Leah basically seduced this man. Well, basically, she R-worded him. Well, no, I take that back. She got him inebriated, and then they slept together.
Oh,
Right here. It's gonna be in verse. All right, I'm gonna be like verse 23. Okay. So in the story before verse 23, it's still in the same chapter 1, verse 23 of the book of Gleamings, where it talks about how the man rejected Leah, but then she went back to like basically get them intoxicated.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, verse 23. Then Leah departed and went her way, but within herself she brooded, and in the course of days her thoughts hatched a dark scheme.
Oh
She
Lord.
mixed up her
No, keep going. Keep going.
she mixed a forbidden potion from herbs, putting it in a pitcher of water with honey, and took it to the man as he toiled in the heat of the declining day. Seeing her, the man said, Wherefore have you come again? And she answered him, saying, My lord, your servant brings a much lesser offering, one you need not fear, as you did a greater one, a humble gift of refreshment. The day being hot and the toil arduous, the gift was not unwelcome. The man drank heavily from the pitcher, and because of the potion, his spirit slept while the beast entered his body in strength. Oh boy.
Mm.
When the fire of his passion was quenched by the waters of lust, his spirit returned.
What?
So basically, she got him intoxicated. This his flesh took over. They slept together, and then when he got sobered up, he came to. He was like, "Oh shoot, what have I done?" All right. His spirit returned and revived the woman, saying, What have you wrought? Would you destroy me in this manner? The woman replied, The deed is yours, my lord, for you are a man and I am a woman. Then the man became afraid, for he knew the code and custom. He became angry. Get off my bag. He became angry after the manner of frightened men and shouted, Be gone from my sight, you viper, lest I crush you. Leela answered quietly, My lord, why be wrathful or afraid without cause? For this thing shall be a secret between us. Oh my God, man.
What?
Man, what in the world? What are you doing? Go to bed. Ani, go to bed. Oh my God. All right. So this is, what? So basically, she gets him intoxicated.
Mm-hmm.
No, first and foremost, she crafted it. She planned on getting him
Yeah,
drunk.
like it said, she mixed a forbidden potion from hers. Like
So
she
that's
knew
the
what she was
craft.
doing. She knew exactly what she was doing.
All because the man didn't want to sleep with her.
It continues says here, Behold, my lord, are you not free again and the yoke removed from your neck? Now you may know the joys a woman can give without submitting to the task. Therefore, take your ease, for life is good for you. The words of
So,
woman were not sweet to the ears of a man. For he was filled with remorse for what he had been done. He said, You are not the maiden of my tender desires, in whom my heart delighted, and for whom I gladly undertook the task. What now of her whose beauty compares with the glory of the sun, whose gentle caresses as the sunbeam? Besides, whose brightness you are no more than a gloomy shadow. Lila replied, She is indeed as the sun. You may worship from afar, but never touch lest she be burnt and destroyed. I am the woman of your body whom your flesh has chosen. What has this other woman done for you? Does she not sharpen the sword on you which you cut yourself? And one lights a fire among reeds, no one sleeps there. Who is to blame for his burning? The fire, who he lit it, or the reeds? Is it is benefit your manliness to turn on me thus? And am I not ashamed for your sake? And who among women would invite the wrath of gods and men as I done? Be content with the wrong your lust has already wrought. This is an evil deed you committed, but because we are now united in the flesh, no harm shall be befall you through me. Therefore, among the people, they went their separate ways, but flesh called to flesh, bringing them furtively together in secret places. Oh man. Each dwelt with the reproach whispers of their spirit, and each walked in the shadow of fear because of the code and tradition.
so wait, so backtrack here. So first, okay, so no, because I wanted to backtrack to verse 24, and she was like, no, at the last part. So basically, she was just trying to get him to hook up with her, trying to, and see you don't have to marry her, but you can have her whenever she tried to get him to get on board with the idea of hookups, so basically he can have relations with a woman without having to marry her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she okay, because I already read the story, but still, I'm just like going back and reading it, and I'm like, lady, you is shameless. And then even then too, the man felt guilty. You know what this reminds me of? It almost reminds me of the story between Jacob and like Rachel and Leah. Because I remember in the story, Jacob wanted to marry Rachel because he
In
was
the
in love
Bible,
with
you
her.
talking about in the Bible, right?
Yeah. So I remember Jacob was in love with Rachel. Yeah, but Leah never tried to like get him to like sleep, hook up without getting married. But trickery was involved. Well, it was a band that did it, I think.
Mm.
But either way, it's like, and then if you read further down in the story, so okay, so
I'm at
so
verse
at the end
20.
of this, huh?
I'm at verse. I'm finna go a little bit more down. In
All
verse
right.
27, no, 28. Now, the elders were not without shrewdness, and they saw that the man was no longer diligent in task, and returned us from a ways. Also, he avoided the eyes of Maya, and was no longer reserved with women, having sampled forbidden fruit. Now he sought other varieties, excuse me. He was not a man with an end in view, so towards which he strove. His bearing was not that of a free man. The glances between the man and the woman and their uneasiness were not difficult to interpret. The elders and the wise women said among themselves, such is the manner of those carrying a burden in their hearts, whose shadowy love is feeble. Further things blooming shamefully in dark and hidden places. Therefore, they set a watch on the pair. The watch came upon them as a lady at a nakedness upon
Oh
their
my
skins,
gosh.
and mocked them with ribaldry, for their passion was profane and a thing for jest. It was a fungus upon the tree. Oh man.
Oh my. So
Words of poetry. Lord have mercy.
really?
They were brought before the high council, which was the council of elders, and the council of the wise women, which questioned them, saying, wherefore you done evil unto us? The man answered, the woman put my spirit to sleep with an evil brew, and my body became weak because of my manhood. Oh, okay. They replied, truly, you have little manhood. Dang. Oh, wow. You have little manhood now, and are a lesser man because of this woman. That precepts with Morals and Precepts, chapter 15:11. He who accepts, man, dang, the Kolbrin Bible just precept itself. That's dope. That's dope. Yep, I'm writing that down. Book of Gleanings, chapter 1, verse 30. Dang. So the Kolbrin Bible just precept itself.
But can you believe that though? This one got caught having their what's the word I'm looking for YouTube guidelines.
Busty.
No, they had their late night rendezvous.
Oh, he had a one night stand?
Yep, hook up, booty call.
Yep. Be like the police. Hold your hands in the air. So that there you have it,
You know the
Shadisha.
movie sometimes when the people get caught, like people, they be at the drive-in movie theaters, and they doing something they're supposed to, and the cops pull up on them. Like, what you doing, ma'am and sir? That was in a TV show I watched one time.
Dang. So now I'm writing that down too. That precepts with books of morals and precepts in 1511. Like he told me the other day, the Kolbrin Bible precept in itself.
Yeah.
Dang, I'm gonna keep reading because this is an interesting. Okay, so after I'm about to read this, I'm about to show some other precepts that I found. The woman stood up in chapter 1 in Book of Gleanings, verse 1, chapter 1, verse 31. The woman stood up before the high council and answered them boldly. Am I then the stronger than the two? Am I lift the biggest stone or the rat run the fastest race? Do not the strong always prevail against the weak? Is not this man the stronger among men? Is this even a matter for your concern? For in what way have we caused harm to any but ourselves? Shall we be punished for that which concern us too alone and wrongs no other? The high
Wait,
council replied, the deeds of any person affecting the lives of others are the concern of others. Though it were done in secret between yourselves, were not the effects displayed in your eyes for all to see? Does the man serve the people better because of this thing, or does he serve them less well? Has something been added to the people, or has something been taken away? Have not the people lost? Therefore, is it not which you did concern the people and not yourselves alone? The deed itself was not wrong, except in the manner of its accomplishment. A woman who places no value on herself, steals something from all women. Wait, there's a little bit of wisdom right here. Hold on, let me see this. Hold on. It's got a little interesting. Hold on. A woman who places no value on herself steals something from all women, for they are less than value in the eyes of men. When would men value gold were it gathered by the wayside? Above all this, what of God given love? Have you elevated or degraded its means of expression among men and women? Among people who value gold above all else, he who debases or adulterates it commits a wrong against them. Here, where love is valued above all else and women honor it as a custodian, those who debase it are regarded likewise. We dwell in a pleasant place amid peace and plenty, an inheritance from our fathers. The children of men have inherited the wastelands. Are our fathers less wise than theirs, that the custom of our fathers shall be spurned? What have you done relate to your two selves, and by your two selves shall your punishment be carried out. This is not a punishment for any wrong done to us, for we are old, and it affect us little. We punish because we have a duty to the young, to the unborn of our race. We have an even greater duty to the hallowed things which inspire man and throw man above the beasts. Your wrongdoing affects no one man or woman, yet it affects all men and women. It, if left unheeded, will not be without effect on children yet unborn. The code and tradition is the pillar of our people, and the pillar may not be struck with impunity, though it be strong, and one blow will not damage it. Many blows will bring down even the stoutest pillar. A blow left unheeded encourages another. A deed disregarded is a deed encouraged. A people can be judged by the things it punishes and the things it permits. The swine revels in filth and therefore attacks anyone who enters his pen. Were we wholly of the earth, the need only protect earthly things. And I'm gonna just stop it right there.
wow.
Wow. I like how
Wait a minute. There's a
it's
precept for that when it talks about, oh no, bad company destroys good character. Hold on, where is it?
that's an aquarium gospel.
Bad company destroys good character. And also too, don't a lot of times people in today, especially in our generation, they be saying, oh, why you concerned with what we're doing? We're not hurting anybody. Or they be saying how, oh, do what, like, live your life however you want as long as you're not hurting anybody.
So basically, what you're doing puts all of us in that category. That one thing, or what you're doing.
Shoot, now I see why like people like our parents from previous generations were big on having, because I know back then, like, one person can make the whole family or the group look bad.
Yeah.
Now I see why there was such an emphasis placed on everybody acting right, because one person, you can make all of us look bad.
Ooh, especially my family too. But now we are free think. It's a free thinking age.
Right. But also this too. Like, one thing I noticed is it was talking about how the beast and men, like the beast, men, and the children of God. So I know, and any other person will probably just read it and think beast. They'll think probably, oh, animal. But no,
No, it's
talking
not
about
animal.
the lower nature of man. And when
Yup.
God, I remember in the kolbrin, in the beginning, in the book of creation, it talks about how God chose man and put that spark of divinity in him. And I remember that what made me think what Beeble said the other night, how when God breathed into Adam, it was intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
People think he just blew in the breath of life, which, like, yeah, he did. He made Adam come alive, but it's what God gave Adam that separated him, that separated man, like humanity, from animals.
Bingo.
And that's why them two got banished. Shoot, wait, no, that story reminds us of Samson and Delilah.
Where Sansa cut all his hair off for Delilah.
Yeah, because I remember, I forgot what Delilah did. Go to bed. I forgot what Delilah did exactly, but I remember she did something. I think she either got Samson to go. No. I remember she waited till Samson fell asleep, and then she cut off all his hair.
No, I think she did it while he was still like he was awake. Let me see.
And
Judges 16.
are you going downstairs? Maybe I will go downstairs.
Let's see. Samson Delilah Bible verse.
Let me see. Shoot, here we go. All right, I found it. Verse 17. So he told her everything. No razor has ever been used on my head, he said, because I have been a Nazarite dedicated to God from my mother's womb.
Wait, where we
If
at?
my
Where we at?
Judges 16 and 17.
Judges 16 verse 17. Oh Lord. Okay.
Do I got the green light?
Let's see.
Thank you.
I said okay. Hey.
Okay. So he told her everything. No, all right, but I read that part. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave me, and I would become weak as any other man. And when Delilah saw that he told her everything, she sent word to the rulers of the Philistines, "Come back once more. He has told me everything." So the rulers of the Philistines returned with the silver in their hands after putting him to sleep on her lap. She called for someone to shave off the 7 braids of his hair and began to subdue him, and his strength left them.
What? So she real? I thought he was awake. Wow.
I
And you,
wonder how she put him to sleep. Did she just wait till he fell asleep, or did she like use like some sort of plant, or just got him? Like
I have
no,
no. The
because
Bible
because
doesn't
he's
be
a
more
Nazarite.
specific on
Nazarites
how.
couldn't drink alcohol.
The Bible wasn't specific on how she really put him to sleep, but dang.
And I don't think she would have
What?
used wine because Samson being a Nazarite, he couldn't drink wine.
Yeah. Oh, dang.
So dang. So your ops was your girlfriend.
You said what?
So the ops was his girl.
The
It feels
ops
weird
was
talking like that.
girlfriend. That's crazy.
But shoot, there's plenty of stories in the Bible where
Shoot,
women
that's
have
like
an
Rahab.
insignificant.
That's like did I say Rahab? I mean Ahab and Jezebel. And David and Bathsheba.
Who else? Don't tell me. We got Potiphar's wife.
And Joseph. Man, these women were these women were wicked. And Job, don't forget Job and his wife.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
she
there's a
told him
full
to curse
backstory on
God.
in the Testament of Job. We already went through that, but the Testament of Job tells him like how Satan was using his wife to get him to curse God and die. She said, "Curse God and die." I said, "Yeah, that's Satan." But the Testament of Job goes further in detail how like he's even said that Satan got a hold of his wife and try to get him to curse God and wish that he would die. I said, "Wow."
Shoot, I got the Testament of Job, and I was reading about why Job was picked out by Satan to be tried. Well, he was picked out because Satan was in a statue, and he was possessing the statue, and people were worshiping the statue,
Mm-hmm.
thinking it's a god. But Job was like, this is not a god. So he cut the statue down. And so the devil came to Job's residence, but the servant, well, of course the devil's in disguise. He looked like a normal man. And so the servant let him in and gave him a piece of bread. After Job told the servant not to. And so the devil was like, you foolish servant. And so the servant let the devil in. She opened up the door and gave the bread to who she thought was just a beggar. But nope, that's when the Satan went back up to heaven, and that's when the story goes. That's when the story like in the Bible starts. But shoot. You know what's going on this too? It's also kind of like a Black Widow, kind of like what Delilah was. She traded her man for gold, well, for silver.
Dang.
She was like, I wanted that new whatever the equivalent of
But
what Louis Vuitton is
hey,
back in ancient times.
what Ecclesiastes says, it says in the scripture, nothing is new under the sun.
Right. No, I don't need to go sleep. But thank you. Honey, go to bed. No, too bad. No, I left. Anyway. But yeah, there is nothing new under the sun. And guess what? When I was reading the story in the Colbrin further, and then when them two got banished, and I remember a man saw her, that woman Leah, and basically wanted to unalive her. But she was like, I'm here because of this man who seduced me. And I was reading, I'm like, you liar. So basically, she was trying to tell this farmer, well, not the farmer, this other man that she saw after she got banished, was trying to say she was there because of the man took advantage of her and seduced her.
Mm.
I'm like, that is not what happened. But ain't that like what women today do sometimes? Not all women, but like some women that be like, oh my gosh, he R-worded me.
Oh yeah, try to play the victim game. Victim, try to play the victim. Yeah.
And then they try to throw you under the bus. Next thing you know, you're in prison for 10, 20, 30 years.
Yep. That just shows how much power we have given women throughout this day and age. We giving women too much power. And what does it say in the Cobra Bible? Because of our weaknesses, they
You
go in.
lost your manhood.
Yup. That's that's
So
a that's a
basically,
that's a piercing one right there. Like from the Colburn. Ooh, but that's true.
he was a punk now.
mm,
Like man, you is a wuss. In any other word we used to describe.
Oh, check this out. Law of Amos, chapter 5 and 14. This book of the sons of fire. It decreed that no man shall worship in the temple of any god or stand in homage before any image or idol. No god shall be joined with the Supreme Spirit in worship, and the whole devotion and worship given to the Supreme Spirit. And it is decreed that no man shall swear an oath in the name of Supreme Spirit or any other name which shall be by him to do anything against the scripture of the Supreme Spirit. We know what the Supreme Spirit is.
The father.
Yup. Neither shall he swear an oath, which will incline his loyalty to obligation away from those who walk in their light. But as kings and governors must be served, and loyalty and obligation together with duty are declare our principles. To swear to serve them well or be faithful, to trust or an obligation is not denied him. The only solemn oath binding up a man shall be that sworn on his immortal soul, for to swear in the name of the Supreme Spirit is forbidden. Look at that.
Also, this too in the book of Gleanings, chapter 138. In this manner were the man and the woman banished from the tilted, waste-tilled land to wander the wilderness beyond. They dwelt. You know what? This kind of reminds me when Cain got kicked out. They dwelt in a cavern in the wasteland, and out and against the outer border of the tilled land, and they ate weeds and wild creatures. There they were in a place defended from hostile men, made safe from ambushes. In the first day of their banishment, the man was wrathful against the woman and spoke to her spitefully, saying, like a lamp that gives no light, you are a woman without womanly virtue, no longer deserving the honored treatment according to the women of our race. You spoke truly when you said that I am strong and you are weak. So be it. Henceforth, your weakness shall be my strength. No longer will the weakness of men be the strength of woman, and the backbone of a people clinging to things without substance. Henceforth, I am obligated to no one, and owe a duty to no one but myself. Man is weak only in his desire for woman, but the weakness of women shall henceforth assure satisfaction of the desire. So the man subdued the woman after the fashion of the children of men. She was the wife who ministered unto him, saying, my Lord, I am but a woman and your handmaiden. Hmm.
There's something else I want to bring out here too. Let's see if I can find
Oh,
it.
before you do that,
Let's
one
see.
last thing. In this manner, women wrought her own downfall and the destruction of those who held her in high regard. Her charms she casted at the feet of those who trampled them underfoot. Woman was not yet fitted to be the free guardians of the portal of life. She was never wise enough to choose the fathers of the race, for she was ruled by womanly waywardness and not wisdom.
Ooh, dang! I keep finding some good stuff to read in this book. More, the book of manuscripts, chapter 11, verse 30. There is no new thing, for the darkness of ignorance has often followed the bright days of spiritual illumination. But he who dwelt under the shadow of darkness see not but the sorrows of our times. When the sunship lies at anchor, then will dawn the day will not fall by darkness. There is, let's see, look in the places of judgment. There are filled with low people, and unclean feet rest upon their footstools. Priests go fat on riches bestowed the preservation, preservation of the body, while those who speak of the preservation of the soul are tormented. Mm.
Ew wee.
Look at verse 11 and 8. Man say, our eyes cannot deceive us. The eyes that sees that which is real, that which the eyes see is not unreal. Foolish people who know not how little the eye sees. The real is real of itself. Neither the eye of a man or his understanding makes it real or unreal. Is it a stone, a thing, a changing, or is it a star, always a star? Who among you, people of ignorance, can you see the bond between the star and the stone? Oh my gosh, bro. I gotta underline that. Yo. Wow, like, dang. Oh wow, yeah, that's how we do think like that. That's why I'm laughing because we really do think like that. Yeah, there is a
Mm.
kinship in all things. The stars hanging above are not wholly or wholly apart from the heart of man. Mm, let me see. This stuff I just happened to found. Oh my gosh! Every time this happens, when I read this uncontrolled, this unnecessary yawning must go.
Also, this too, real quick. Book of Manuscripts, chapter 1, verse 3. It is written that God once walked the earth with man and dwelt within a cave above a garden where man labored. God encompassed all that is and cannot be contained in a cave. Look to the sacred writings for truth. It is told that women made God angry, and he took himself into the sky, removing heaven. Wait, doesn't this sound like when Adam and Eve were kicked out of the celestial realm?
Let me see.
Because, like, listen to this. He took himself into the sky, removing heaven from man because of his disgust for women. It is also told that men offended God by imi- what is that word?
Imitating,
Whatever.
imitating.
Imitating, imitating him. These are tales made by men. This is not wisdom, for the sacred writings reveal the plans of God, and these things cannot be as told. It is the talk of the courtyard. It is the knowledge of the outer place. Hmm. But doesn't verse 3 precept with John 21 and 25, where it talks about not even the whole world can contain everything that Jesus did? And in verse 3, in chapter 1 of Manuscripts, where it talks about God encompasses all and cannot be contained.
Look, look. You see that? I just look. I told you there's lost books of the Bible. Shoot, books of remembrance, apocryphal. But there's way more books than that. Even the Book of Mormon and the Bible tells you they got a Book of Wars, Book of Nathan Gat the Seer. We got the Kolbrin Bible. Then we got the Quran telling about Jesus. Like, so many
Look at
books.
the giants.
Huh?
Look at the giants too.
Talks about Christ.
Oh, never mind. I understand there's also the book of the giants too. Oh wait, no, the wars of the Lord too. Hello.
I'm still here.
Okay. Book. Let me find that verse. Book of the wars of the Lord. All right, mentioned. Let me see. Okay, Numbers 21. Numbers 21:13. All right. And they set out from there and camped alongside Aran, which is in the wilderness extending to Amorite territory. The Aran is the border of Moab, in between Moab and the Amorites. That is why the book of the Wars of the Lord says Zahab in Sukkah, in the ravines in the Aran. I wonder what's that about, though. The book of the Wars of the Lord. But wait, didn't Enoch, didn't he wrote over what? Didn't Enoch wrote books too?
Hmm.
Didn't Enoch wrote books too?
Yeah, he wrote the Book of Enoch.
You see, I wonder how many books is like really out there containing even stuff that we haven't even heard about.
I got a website to where it shows the books. It's called the Rejected Scriptures. Look it up. The Rejected Scriptures. McGunther put me on with that.
You know what's so crazy is people want to talk about canon. Oh, that's not canon. Well, canon is just what a bunch of old, a bunch. I was about to say a bunch of white dudes, but that's not it.
You know what I would have said? Oh, it's not canon, or it's not part of Scripture pertaining to the Apocrypha in the Book of Mormon. Oh, it's outside of Scripture. Oh, it doesn't line up with the Bible. Who told you that? Did God say that? I'm reading the Book of Apocrypha in front of your face, and I hear you telling me, "Oh, it don't line up with Scripture. There's a reason why it's out of the Bible."
Yeah, because people took it out.
Okay, let me ask you this question: if you're telling me it's a reason out of the Bible, like what? I mean, what in their heads or whoever got a hold of the book, why would it? Why if okay, you got to ask yourself this question: if it's not much of a big deal, why would they remove the Book of Enoch out of the Bible?
Because Enoch be coming for them.
There you go. Like you gotta like these are the type of questions you really gotta ask somebody. Like, if they remove it out of the Bible, like, uh, why is it a big deal? Why would it be need to take out in the first place? If you say it's not a part, it's for taking out the Bible for a reason. All
What
right.
people don't realize is that, see, I was having the same conversation earlier. I was like, why don't people see that, like, if the Bible tells you that Satan is the God of this world, Satan doesn't want you getting close to God. So you don't think Satan got people trying to put obstacles in every way possible to prevent you from getting closer to God?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and people be like, well, these guys, I'm like, these are the church fathers. And I'm like, so? Did they? And they'd be like, see, they'd be like, well, they're the church fathers, so they must know what they're doing when they took about canon and stuff like that. And I'm like, what?
Here's some wisdom right here. Book of Wisdom, chapter 9 and 3. There are many. I really want to start at verse 1. You know what? Let's start at verse 1. Avoid all places and people which conduce to evil. Keep away from hypocrites, for having a common feel of degradation, they will congregate together, and it will be unwise to be numbered among them. Hypocrites tend towards evil because they serve its purpose in, and therefore have an affinity with it. They turn away from what is good and just. They are hard fisted when the poor come discreetly, seeking for alms, but are open handed when approaching a public place. Surely the hypocrite must be the lowest form of a man or a woman. If you met a stranger who appears to be filled with extraordinary virtues, or conducts himself with grace and good manners, do not haste to conclude that this is his true character. What? Go to the place where he lives and is known. Know his attitude towards family and behavior among friends, and listen to what is said about him. Only then will you be a better position to judge and to weigh him in the balances. There are many persons of a hypocritical nature who reveal themselves who their true character in one place, and but put on a false display of goodness in another. If you accept a man in haste and are deceived, then don't blame no one but accept yourself. The man who sets another in his own valuation usually gets a poor bargain. Oh Lord.
What?
Verse 9 and 6. Avoid the loose woman, for even if she is beautiful, you know what loose mean? For, e-
Morally and physically.
for even if she is beautiful, it may be just a lure over the pit trap. Do not become snared by your desires or let your eyes drug your wisdom. The man who claps fire to his chest cannot escape unburned, and he who embraces uncleanness will be soiled, however delicately it's wrapped. Avoid an evil neighbor in a wicked neighborhood, bearing in mind that a man is judged according to his associations. Wait, what? Wait, what? A man is a judge according to his associations. There are many weak characters who will not desire and associate with the wicked or live in their neighborhood, will do so for the benefit or to advance their ends. Unless they prayerfully admit their weakness, they are hypocrites. Wow, I gotta underline that.
And where's that at?
That's in Book of Wisdom, chapter 9, verse 7.
Wait, I got a couple precepts. There's one that talks. There's one in James, James 1:8.
You said the precept for what I just read is James 1 and 8.
Wait, no, not 1:8. I'm talking about. It says, what was just reading about the hypocrite?
That was it. Dang it. That's in Book of Wisdom, chapter 9, verse 1.
Oh, here we go. All right, James chapter 1, verse 8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways.
That's it? Well, it must be it then.
Oh, here we go. That's not it. I thought it was. Hold on.
Let's see.
Here we go. I'm thinking of something else. All right. Sorry, it was Corinthians. First Corinthians chapter 15, 34.
Chapter 13 or 15? Chapter 15, verse 34.
Yep, in First Corinthians.
For it says, awake up righteously and sin not, for some have no knowledge of God. I speak this to move you to shame.
I said 32.
That was a good one, though. Okay. 32.
Yeah,
If
yeah, 32 to 34.
if after the manner of men I fought with beasts of Ephesus, what do it profit me if the dead were not raised? Let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we die. Be not deceived. Evil company do corrupt the. Oh, wow. Yo. So that precepts with. Yo. With what Book of Wisdom, chapter 9, verse 7. Oh, wow. That's high knowledge. First Corinthians 15, verse 32 to 34. Alright, so we have Book of Wisdom, chapter 9, verse 8. Avoid the places of pleasure. We know what that is.
OnlyFans.
Which attract the weak and bad characters. For if you associate with them, you cannot expect to remain uncontaminated. Oh, wow. Bear in mind that the best person to associate with may not be the best companion, and evil places are generally more alluring than the good. And like, dude, this book will get you right.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all want this book? This book was like what, $50?
Yep. And I never see it going on sale either.
Nope. Get this book for free on PDF, but if you want the hardback copy, I mean the paperback, it's on Amazon for like more than 50. I think you get shipping and now shipping and taxing on Amazon is ridiculously stupid high. I ordered Ashley's book. That book was $10 and went from $10 to almost $20.
Oh my god. What book?
Ashley's book, God's Laws.
It went to $20.
Yes, almost.
Hold on, wait a minute. Cause I bought it. I've got it for
That's for ship. That's
$10.
plus shipping and handling.
Oh, I forgot. You don't. I got Prime. That's probably why.
Yeah, that's without Prime.
But almost $20 for shipping. Oh my god.
All right. Ooh, wait. Let me see. I think let me see. Ooh, the Book of the Silver Bow.
Did you say the silver bullet?
No, my bad. Sorry. Teachings of Elidor, chapter 6, verse 13. The enjoyments that flow from worldly things bear within themselves seeds of sorrow to come. Worldly pleasures are passing things, and peace and content are not be found in them. The man on the right path is the one who considers the earthly rewards of effort less valuable than the spiritual gain. Wow.
Wait, there's a precept for that. Wait, in Aquarian Gospel. Hold on. coming out of Aquarian Gospel, chapter 8.
There's a precept for that in Third Testament somewhere where materialism brings darkness. Hold on, wait a minute. You okay? You can go ahead and bring that out while I find materialism in the Third Testament.
Uh, this is coming out of Aquarian Gospel, chapter 8, verse. I'm going to start at 11. The lower self breeds hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harms. The higher self is the mother of virtues and the harmonies of life. The lower self is rich in promises, but poor in blessedness and peace. It offers pleasure and joy and satisfying gains, but gives unrest, misery, and death.
No.
It gives men apples that are lovely to the eye and pleasant to... Didn't we just read something about how evil looks more illustrious than the good?
Yup.
So there's another precept.
Lord, we see we about to go all. So here we go.
It gives men apples that are lovely to the eye and pleasant to the smell, but their cores are full of bitterness and gall.
Oh, I found it. Here's a precept for that. What I just read out of the book of the Silver Bowl, chapter 6, verse 13. Lines up with Third Testament, chapter 47, verse 3. Analyze my word until you are certain of its purity and its truth. Only in that way will you be able to remain strong and firm on comforting materialistic ideas which threaten the spirit. For materialism is death, and its darkness is a prison and poison to the spirit. Never exchange light and freedom of your spirit for the earthly bread or merely material possessions. Yep, I'm writing that down. That's a good precept for that. In Third Testament, chapter 34, verse 34 to 33.
Dude, it's almost 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm about to get off in a few minutes.
Okay, I'm so tired. I gotta go to work on Wednesday.
Yeah, same here. I get up early in the morning.
Oh.
But thank you, Sadisha, for coming up on the phone call. And those who made it to the end of this live stream or who watched this video, who made it into this video, thank you. If you enjoyed this live or enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and share. And turn on post notifications. Only time I'm on live is if I come here willingly or if TikTok bans me, because I'm mostly live on TikTok. But y'all have a good one. I'll see y'all next time. Shalom.